Hello YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. Steve Byrne here. What'd you laugh for? Steve Byrne here, and in this episode we are doing another video of the What If series. We are placing Manchester City in League 2 and giving them 5 years to see if they get back to the Premier League and start winning the title once more. We haven't altered anything of the finances, so the money that they have today is the money that they will have in League 2. So let's go and have a look to see how they managed in League 2. If you are enjoying this kind of content, then please do feel free to smash that subscribe button, like the video, and then comment below if there's any experiments that you'd like to see. I could do that for you. Manchester City's season in League 2 was a very quick one because they managed to win the title very convincingly. They only managed to spend 1 year down here, so they won 42 games, drew 4 and lost none. So they're undefeated, scored 125 goals, only let in 10, and have a massive goal difference of 115. They finished that season with 130 points, like nearly 51 points ahead of second place Cambridge. It's to be expected is Manchester City after all. So let's go and have a look to see if they've brought any players in during this season. So during Manchester City's first season, they only decided to bring in one player, and that was Clive Aguilar from Alianza for 1.5 million. And they have loaned out a handful of players and also sold several players. So they've loaned out Alpha Dionku, Mnicha, Harwood Bells, and they sold Amankwah to Preston, Adria Benaib to Las Palmas on loan, Gomez Rogers was also loaned out, Philippe Sandler was sold to Vitesse Arnhem, then they loaned out Makati, Trafford, Knight and Rogers, and then they loaned out, they sold Liam Delap to Newcastle 375k before finally selling Jack Harrison to Leeds for 10 million, João Cancelo to Chelsea for 35.5 and John Stones to Chelsea for 8.2 million. So now it's time to see if they also dominated League 1. As expected, we can see Manchester City dominated League 1 as well. This year they obviously played 46, won 42, drew 3 and only lost 1, and that was at home to Crewe. Scored 102 goals, only let in 14 and had a goal difference of 88. Finished that season with 129 points. So did they choose to sign anyone in season 2? Let's have a look. So in the second season they opted not to buy anyone at all, but they did sell a lot of players. I've filtered this one by the fee because there's a lot of activity in the outgoings at Manchester City this season. They've sold Raheem Sterling to Real Madrid for 49.5 million. Bernardo Silva was sold to Chelsea for 64. Gabriel Jesus went to Real Madrid for 18.5, could rise to 31. That's quite cheap for Gabriel Jesus. Ferran Torres was sold to Everton for 18.25, could be higher. Benjamin Mendy has gone to Barcelona for 6.7, could rise up to 8.5. Nathan Ake went to Bayer Leverkusen for 5.5. Yangel Herrera to Leicester for 4.4. Angelino, the left back, has gone to West Ham for 4.3. Jacques Steffen's gone to Brighton, and then Harwood Bells, Patrick Roberts-Doyle have gone to Sheffield United, Bruges and Everton, and Ko Itakura has gone to Groningen, and then the rest are, just let's say reserve players / youth players, so there's a lot there, which we're not going to go through all of them. Most of them in loans and then smaller fees for lesser players. No offence to those players if you're watching. Sorry. So with 2 seasons out of the way, they're back in the Championship. Are they going to repeat their dominance? I expect they will. Let's have a look. Exactly as we expected, Manchester City have won 3 titles in a row, being League 2, League 1 and now the Championship. They played 46 games in this season, won 39, drew 5 and only lost 2. And that was 2 home ties against Reading and Nottingham Forest. Scored 98 goals, only let in 27 and have a goal difference of 71, and they were clear of Bournemouth by 22 points as they finished that season with 122 points. So Manchester City are back in the Premier League within Season 4. But before that, let's go and have a look if they've signed anyone. During their season in the Championship, Manchester City were very, very busy in the transfer market. As we can see here, they spent £527 million on bringing in players. So we'll start with Naby Keita from Liverpool for 43 million. I mean, a lot of them will have brackets it could go up to, but I'm just going to say the flat fees. Kurt Zouma from Chelsea for 37. Jeremy Boga from Sassuolo for 26. Fausto Vera from Argentinos Juniors for 4.8 million. Luca Pellegrini from Juventus for 18. Kevin Mbabu from Paris for 36. Another player from Juventus, which was Christian Romero for 22 million. They signed Ruben Loftus-Cheek for 25.5. Divock Origi was signed from Liverpool for 31 million. Thomas Lemar from Paris for 40 million. Harry Wilson from Liverpool for 11.75 million. They brought in Declan Rice to play in the Championship for 54 million from West Ham. Then Odson Edouard from Leicester for 69 million pounds. Nikola Milenkovic from Paris for 51 million. And then the last two was Luke Mbeti Tabu from Fulham for 4.75 million. And then Dominic Calvert-Lewin from Everton for £52 million. So same with the last transfer outgoings. I'm going to only filter by the value because there's a lot of players to go through and a lot of them are just youngsters, reserves. So we're just going to talk about the key players. As we can see here, as we go for the most expensive outgoing transfer, Kevin De Bruyne has joined Barcelona for £49 million. Ruben Diaz has gone to Bayern Munich for 29.5. Gundogan has gone to Hertha Berlin for 16.75 million. Muric has gone to Newcastle for 11.7. Slobodan Tedic has gone to Leeds for 10.25 million. Kyle Walker was then sold to Sassuolo for 7.5 million. And then Bustos has gone to Boca Juniors for 5.5. Jadon Braff has gone to Salzburg for 5.5 million. And then Stevanovic has gone to Villa for 4.2. And Ilic has gone to Norwich for 1.6 before we'll wrap up this one with Adria Benaib has gone to Stoke for 1.1 million. The rest, as we can see, are lesser values and players that, like we said, we don't really know a lot about. So it's just really looking at the key players, really. So there we go. That's their transfer business in the Championship. Let's go and see how they managed in their first season back in the Premier League. Manchester City season's first year back in the Premier League was probably a mixed reception from their fans because they only managed to finish in 5th place. You know, they only had 65 points. They lost 11 games, won 19, drew 8, and only had a goal difference of plus 20. So 65 points, and Manchester United won it with 95. They were 30 points away from top. And, you know, there was even 9 points away from a Champions League spot. So in their first season back, they managed to finish 5th. So they're going to have to settle with Europa League. But let's see if they can bring in some quality players to get them higher for the next season. The business Manchester City have done in Season 4, which is their first season back in the Premier League, they brought in Moussa Barrow from Bologna for 21 million. Mikhail Kabalnik from Brighton for 39 million. Herman Noordmans from FC Twente for 575k. João Carlos from BAH for 7.25 million. Liam Delap they brought back, because they did sell him obviously previously. They've brought him from Newcastle for 8 million. And then Chelsea Young from ATP for 8.7 million. And then finally playmaker Emiliano Buenda from Norwich for 43.5 million. In terms of outgoing, they've had a bit of activity as well, losing some good players. They've lost Phil Foden to Paris for 77 million. Luke Mbete Tabu has gone to Leicester. Zinchenko has gone to West Ham for only 3 million. Issa Kabore has gone to Peterborough, and Riyad Mahrez has gone to Arsenal on a free. The rest we're looking at here are loans again, and they're not the players that we're really looking at this kind of save, you know, because no offence to them, they're probably reserve or youth players. As we can see, there's no names really popping out at us here. So that's their transfer business in Season 4. So with one season left to go, can they win anything? We'll find out if they've won any cups shortly, but Can they win the league in season 5? Let's have a look. So their final season in the Premier League was even worse than their last season, because this year they finished 7th, which will only get them Europa League 2 spot. They've played 38, won 17, drew 8 and lost 13. That's quite a lot for the top 7. You know, they're the highest in that remarks. They've lost the most in the top 7 teams, top 8 even. They've got 59 points, quite away from 6th, who are Arsenal. And, you know, even 4th place, they were, 15 points away from getting anywhere near Tottenham, who finished 4th. So there's not going to be any Champions League football for them once again. So that's probably, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if Guardiola is going to have a job. We're going to have a look in a moment to check out their manager history, but I've got a feeling he may not be there. Before we do that though, let's check out their transfers. So in the final season, they have been busy once again. They spent 175 million with incoming players. They brought in Jeffrey Tournay from VA FC for free, Ross McCrory from Aberdeen on a free, Dwight McNeil was purchased from Burnley for 55 million, Elton Lewis from Flamengo for 11.75k, Ian Martson from Chelsea was loaned in, Pepe from Olympiacos 13.25 million, and Alfonso Escalante from Santos Laguna for 9.25 million, Harvey Barnes from Leicester for 44, Amadou Onana from Hamburger for 49 million, and Gordon Patton from Rafe for 4.4 million. And in their outgoings, they've managed to receive £185 million. They've sold Kurt Zuma to Paris for 49.5 million, Fausto Vera to Shandong for 40 million, Christian Romero went to Milan for 13.7 million. Then they sold Ruben Loftus-Cheek to Norwich for 13.75 million. Harry Wilson went to West Brom for 8.2, and Liam Delap was then sold to Brentford for 7.5 million. And we can see Origi was loaned out, and one of their new loanees, Elton Lewis, was also loaned to Portland and Blackpool. So now it's time to see if Pep avoided the chop and see if he has been the only manager in that 5-year period. So as we can see here, I was proven wrong. Pep Guardiola is still in a job at Manchester City. I would have thought he may have lost it, especially in the last season, finishing 7th and only getting Europa League 2. But here we see he's been there 8 years, 346 days. So Pep Guardiola is still the manager. Next up, we're going to check out if they've won any competitions in that 5-year period. So as we can see here, they've obviously won the League 2, League 1 and Championship, and they also picked up Papa John's Trophy in 2022. But other than that, there's been no real silverware. The only noticeable thing that we can talk about is that they were the runners-up in the Euro Cup in the 25 season. So Manchester City's most expensive player as of season 5 is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's been capped by England 16 times and has 5 goals. And we know a little bit about his history. He started off at Sheffield United. He was loaned to Stalybridge and also Northampton before Everton bought him for 4 million in the 16/17 season. Then Manchester City bought him for 64 million in the 23/24 season. Their second most expensive player is Dwight McNeil. So he has only 4 under-21 England caps and 1 under-21 goal. So as we can see a little bit about him, he's been at Burnley since he started his career in 2016/17, and Manchester City have only just bought him for £55 million. He's number 2. And in wrapping up the top 3 is Emiliano Buenda, rated at 68 million. He has 4 caps for Argentina. So let's have a quick look at his career. He starts his career in Getafe, and then he was loaned out to Leonesa before Norwich bought him for an undisclosed fee in 2018/19. He spent 6 years at Norwich, and then Manchester City, should I say, have just purchased him for £56 million. So if you've made it this far to the end of the video, I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.